Now, all of you guys are doing well. I'm going to keep this very short, and my disclaimer to this video is this is not a spiritual related video. This is something that, I'm just speaking about, I'm talking about. Can we talk? Y'all know I love talking, girl. I'm a Gemini guy. I like, having conversation about things that I feel like affect the public. And of course, we've been talking about, and it's always been my, dialect, that when I see some fuckery, I'm going to speak about it. This is a very unfortunate situation. Tami Roman, this is an unfortunate situation with this, with this individual. And I'm going to I'm going to talk about some tea. I'm going to say what I feel. And of course, all things are alleged or proven otherwise. But I do feel like this person is, based on what I've seen with this older person, 55 years old to be exact, is what they said, Tami Roman. I've seen them in their adult years, they say 40 plus, act a goddamn fool on national television. They were fighting with other women. They were being hostile, on a set with security. They felt like they had to defend themselves. I don't understand that. If you're on a reality show and there's security there and you've lived in this celebrity lifestyle, or this is your life, like, you understand the concepts of that. Cause like I said before, like, I'm not a celebrity, any of that, but maybe when I do go to a certain place, I have security. And girl, I don't ever feel like I have to defend myself, because maybe that's what they're there for. And so either way, I was a little confused about, like, why this person got to act like this on TV? And then of course I grew to love them because they started like talking about things. They started having like Bonnet Chronicles and stuff. But an unfortunate situation has come up recently. This was brought to me. I don't know when this happened, but this individual, Tami Roman, went on a podcast with her daughter, Jazzy, can't remember, very beautiful. She's a lesbian, open lesbian, and Tami stated that she feels uncomfortable around this whole situation. And like I said, it's just unfortunate. I mean, she, and I'm saying it's unfortunate as, this person has lost me as a support. This person lost me. Like, I don't want to see anything that Tami Roman is in, because, and of course, this is not because she don't support her lesbian daughter. Let's clarify that. I have a very big problem with grown ass people that have the right to make fucked up ass decisions. They're able to do stupid ass shit, even though their parents has advised them not to do so. But they don't hold the same they don't hold the same standards when it comes to their children. They don't hold the same standards when it comes to other people. They're like, you better follow directions and so forth and so forth. And so, it has stated even by her daughter that they grew up very strict. Tami was raised by a strict grandmother, and this daughter was kind of raised by her grandmother. And they were Christians, strong Christians, in the name of Jesus. They were strong Christians. And I could not help but know that Tami got her fame for having an abortion live on television on a reality show that was quite disgusting. On a reality show that was really for the rebellious. It was really worldly, which is called the real world. And not even to mention the things that these companies have made people do, allegedly, because like I said, I don't speak for other people's experiences, but they done some very shisty ass, scandalous ass, trifling ass shit. And so this person is 55 years old, which, by the way, they're about 7 years younger than my mother. And my mother is not about any of this lifestyle. My mother is not a lesbian. She's not bisexual. She's never experimented with another woman. She's strictly dickly. She loves dick. Hello? I hate to say it like that, but we're just being honest here. So for someone to have experienced out of her own mouth that she's been with women, Tami said out of her own mouth, she's been with women before. For someone who has done like the old and like she was not sexually violated against her own will, to have this baby, she aborted this baby because she felt like she was not going to be able to take care of this baby, which is just telling me this person's just a rebellious ass person. And to sit here on national TV during an era. And that's why I was saying, like, I don't think people understand the importance of supporting is. Like, regardless of how you personally feel about a person or a particular type of energy, especially when it comes to your household, baby, you're gonna realize that, hey, we're living in some fuck the best times right now. I don't really understand it because it's not really my lifestyle, but I'm gonna respect it because this is my child. And even going into me like having conversations with my own mother, my mom doesn't have to be a part of a lifestyle. I think that any mother, any father, does not have to be a part of a lifestyle to support their child in their life and their goal. Because, like I said, you've done decisions that your parents are not proud of. I doubt that her mother or her father, if he's in the picture and ever was in the picture, as when she became old enough to make her decision, show star that had an abortion on live television. On top of that, became a basketball wife to a basketball player that really didn't want her from the beginning. Didn't want her. No tea, no shade, and he still didn't want her because she even filed a lawsuit. But I'm still thinking to myself, like, so there's things you've done to your parents, so you've done that your parents are not proud of. And I mean, like I said, I think I speak for a lot of parents. Like, this is just how it is. And this is what makes you understand that your children are gonna be different. And like I said, going into my mother, she done things that were against, my grandparents' rules and stuff. And that's why she understood her children having their own lives. And now to if you truly love and care for your child, over and over again, you're going to still be there to catch them when they fall. But what I really feel, the real big issue, diabetes. Honey, my shit want to have an update right when I'm fucking doing. Ooh, that shit irritates the hell out of me. I'm like, bitch, I'm on a fucking roll. Like, bitch, girl, all day this shit could have had a fucking update. It wait until I literally jump on to say, bitch, let's do an update right now. Anywho, it's an unfortunate situation. Like I said, with the Tami situation, there's somebody who clearly felt unheard. There's clear somebody who fully or truly felt some type of way about not being, accepted in somehow, some way with their parents. And instead of supporting their child, especially being in a celebrity world, like, girl, you know more. You've experienced more about fucked up and downs than anyone else. And to be like, I feel uncomfortable around my lesbian daughter. Like, wait, what? And that's kind of the trauma that I was speaking about that a lot of Black Americans deal with. They don't have a uncomfortableness and or insecurity about their child becoming a gangster or hanging out with a gangster or low life or bums, being a high school dropout, not wanting to have a job, not wanting to be on their own. They don't have any type of uncomfortable, discomfortable insecurities about that. But when it comes down to their child wanting to love whoever the fuck they want to love, they want to talk about how they're uncomfortable. Baby, it shouldn't be your concern about who and what your child want to lay with. That should be far from your concern. If your child is happy, healthy, and successful, that should be your concern. Who they deal with behind the scenes, that's none of your business. But like I said, that's a people, particularly Black people, like to live vicariously through their damn children. And either they don't have the balls or the guts to be that, or be something outside of what the parents wanted them to be. So the parents say, hey, I wanted you to be this and that. Now it's like, well, I'm going to, I'm going to make my child, I'm going to teach my children how to be this. I'm going to teach my children how to be this. Like, I didn't do what my parents told me to do, so now I'm going to make sure my kids do what they tell me. And then, of course, you're holding them hostage. And that's another thing, too, where I'm like, see, what a lot of you people, LGBT people, in particular don't understand. See, I don't know what it is about, like, I need to please my parents. I don't know what it's about. I'm gonna, I'll let my parents disrespect me, misgender me, as long as I still have them in my life. I don't know what that's about. But me personally, baby, like, girl, mama, daddy, sister, auntie, uncle, brother, girl, if it comes down to my peace of mind, my comfortability, my respect, because that's ultimately what it is. Tami does not respect her daughter. Ultimately, Tami, aka tame me, because of course words, names mean things, and Tami, of course, Tami, Tommy, all is a part of the same thing. It's really like tame me, calm me down. So these people tend to have some type of issue, some type of like narcissist, behavior problem. It's a challenge for them. And of course, even going into, split personalities, fragments and all stuff. And then going into her in particular, like, so just a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved trauma, a lot of things that they witnessed and experienced as a child that have not fully healed from that. And of course, they feel like they have to defend themselves from the outside world, but yet in their real life, they were not able to say what they wanted to say and speak how they wanted to speak. There was a clash between what they wanted to say and how they wanted to live their life. And like I said, it's an unfortunate thing because now you have a child who could just cut your ass off any second, any minute, and she'll be fine. Now, the question is, would you be fine? And that's what it comes down to. And that's why I was saying, honey, test the gangsters of your parents. Test the gangsters of your loved ones, girl. Show them that, girl, if you don't respect me and see me for me, girl, I'm out of here, respectfully. And see just how deep this trauma go. Because like I said, I'd be willing to forgive my child. If I wanted my child to be a doctor and start to be a lawyer, I'll be willing to forgive that, look past that, as long as I have the love and respect for my child, as long as I have that connection with my child. But a lot of people clearly don't give a fuck about that because they don't give a fuck about themselves. And that's why I said, going into the hints of it all, I'm uncomfortable around my lesbian daughter, but I'm not uncomfortable around pedophiles. I'm not uncomfortable about women and men who are scammers. But I'm uncomfortable around my child who is a lesbian, who's a grown-ass woman or man that wants to do what the fuck they want to do. And see, that right there that'd be the problem for me. And not really the problem because it's not really my business. But I'm like, why? Like, why is that? Like, how are you uncomfortable around? If you're not lesbian or gay, how are you uncomfortable around your lesbian or gay child? But you're not comfortable around pedos, pedo enablers, and or scammers. Well, they're a scammer, but that's not my business, right? Well, she's a lesbian. That's not my business, exactly. So either A, you're fighting the lesbian tendencies that you've had. You're struggling with who you really are, with what you want to be because you don't want to, upset your parents or shame your parents. And or B, you want to have some type of control over your child. You're a control freak. And this can also go into relationship situations as well, where relationship situations either never lasted or they look very tumultuous and very disgusting. They look like, some type of dispute, abuse or dispute happens in the home. And girl, we won't even get into, the last situation, because I don't know if she's still with that man or not. But the last situation, I don't want to get into that because I don't want to be disrespectful because I don't know that person. I don't know Tami privately, so I feel like I'm not going to jump into that. But as a fan, like I said, it's unfortunate this person have lost me, and many people like that. Baby, I got to hit you where it hurts, girl. So unfortunately, shows like the Miss Pat show and all these other shows that I've seen, the V House of V, she's in it, girl. She won't be getting my motherfucking energy, honey. Girl, be uncomfortable with your motherfucking self. And that'd be another problem too, girl. You uncomfortable with your motherfucking self, and that's why you're uncomfortable with your daughter being a lesbian. Bitch, you don't like you. The fuck? Anyway, let me see who's up in here, honey. Oh, wow. Here I thought way back when Tami daughter first came out, she was working back then to understand. Like, what's so hard in other? Right. What's hard? What's the hold up? Right. And now what if the tables were turned and her daughter didn't approve and was uncomfortable with her grown ass mom acting like a bully, arguing for food, so stealing people's purchases? Exactly. Not to mention the nigga that she's with. The niggas that you with. Honey, your daughter's father gets paid. You want a nigga that you taking care of. It appears that you're taking care of this nigga. It appears that this nigga ain't got no money. It appears this nigga ain't got no brain within, no common sense within his brain, within his head, and it's like a charity type of situation. That's what it's given. So you said it. What happened if both of your daughters was like, you know what? You don't want to support Jazz, baby. I wish you best your life and keep pushing. Now, girl, now you're single. You ain't got no mama, you ain't got no daddy, and you got no daughters. Girl, that would be one fuck the best life. And so that's why I'm like, girl, sometimes you LGBT people, y'all got to teach your parents or your family people, members of lesson, girl, you don't need them. You're off. If they feel like they're better without you, because that's what it comes down to, she feel like she's better without her daughter because, of course, if her daughter's gonna be a lesbian, she don't want her daughter around her or the daughter's partner. So it's like, baby, if you are like, I'll be fine without you being around me, baby, I'm gonna show you too. I'll be fine without you being around me as well, baby. It's an even thing. I'll learn to cope with it. There's a lot of people that have lost their parents. There's some people that aren't even orphans. They a lot of them are managing well, without this. So baby, I would learn to live like that if I had a parent or, parents that did not support and love me. And I made that clear when I moved out at 17 years old. Like, baby, I don't have to come back. Because baby, I knew that I was going to be set up, I knew I was going to be set up to be set off. Meaning that, baby, I was going to always use my feminine energy to get to where I need to get to. Hello? And baby, it is what it is. Money does not buy happiness. But like I said, baby, I'd rather be by myself and be happy and content than to be with family and friends and be miserable and bored and feel uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, as soon as I get up and walk away, they're going to start talking shit about me. Oh, I better not tell them anything about my love life because they're going to be talking shit about that. Can we talk about it? And so that's where it's at for me. It's not about, not supporting your child because they're gay and you don't know what it's like to be gay. Girl, love your child. You didn't know what it was like to be a mother. You end up being a mother. Hello? There's no instruction on how to be a mother. There's a lot of things you did for the first time that you did not know anything about, like having sex with a man. You wanted to try it. like aborting a baby. Can we talk about it? But you learn to become comfortable with that. But yet you cannot be comfortable with a healthy, successful child loving on who they want to love on. That's sad. That's the sad. That's the biggest issue with a lot of Black Americans. It's an unfortunate situation. And like I said, girl, God bless her. 55 years old girl, she's stuck in her ways. 55 girl, like she said, she's 55 years old girl. Girl, she grew up in the 70s, girl, when they were doing PCP, LSD, and all that shit, girl. Hello, girl, but she can't support her own daughter. Can we talk about it? And maybe that's what it is too. Anyway, I wanted to get into that. It's a lot with a lot. And like I said, it's just an unfortunate situation. If you have a child who's lesbian, gay, trans, or whatever, you don't have to try to understand them. Support them as their child, as the child. Support them as the mother that you are. You don't have to sit here and have the answers to everything. Oh, honey, I don't know anything about that because I'm not a lesbian. I'm not a trans person. But still let them know that you're here to support them if they need you. Please still let them know that you're here as the mother and the father when the outside world turns against them, when the outside world calls them out their motherfucking name, spit on them, punch them, do all the shit they do to them. You're letting them know that I'm still here and I still love you regardless of you being different. And see, and that's what I'm talking about, being a real mother. People, and what they say, just because you can, I mean you should. Tammy is an example of just because you could have kids, don't mean you should have kids. Bitch, and I said it respectfully. Respectfully. Your child learns things from you and you are learning from your child. Every era is different. Your parents learn from you. Your parents grew up from a different era than you and they learn from you. So you don't have the same patience. Love is patient. Love is kind. Hello? Love does not envy, does not boast. Can we talk about it? But you talk about you love, and yet, and I don't know, maybe it's the fear of the daughter replacing that fake love with the real love from a partner. I don't know what that is, but like I said, it's a very sad situation all the way around. And I hope that her daughter find the courage and the backbone and the strength to get help. First of all, most importantly, psychologically, mental help, and then just walk away. Let Tammy be an old ass, bitter ass, insecure ass bitch. Respectfully, honey. Respectfully, okay. Respectfully. Okay, respectfully, girl. And that's another thing too. I'm just like, girl. So out of all the Hollywood auditions that you've done, because you're an actress, girl. Like I see, this was like a Christian woman who listened to Christian sermons all day. Who was not an actress or actress that never got invited to a Hollywood party, that never went to a sex party. They never dated an athlete. I mean, girl, they're one of the biggest fucking hoes out there. Athletes. Can we talk about it? Hello, hello. I see it came from another person. But somebody who's a celebrity, somebody who's probably been around some very fucked up ass energy, talking about she's uncomfortable. And you know what it also gives me too while we're speaking here? It's giving me that either she went through an experience that she don't want to talk about, or she know that her daughter went through an experience that she don't want to talk about. It's giving that she's been through an experience, or the daughter has.